Well, what a cock up this morning, eh? I've deleted that stream. Sorry. It was a disaster. I started off on this screen and it stayed there for an hour and a half. And 12 people came in watching and never said a word. Seriously? Come on, guys. Seriously, seriously. I mean, what am I meant to say to that? Well, I've had some lunch and I'm hoping my brain is a little bit more in gear now. We'll see. So, if you were here this morning and you were trying to see what I was building in a tiny little screen, this is basically what I had been doing, was doing a blueprint for a double skin wall. There's cable inside as well for the outside of my mega factory that's going to be here for all the space elevated components. And then we built a crane this morning, which is this 40-ton job. And we can probably get rid of some of the signage on here because we don't need it repeated that many times, but that's all right. Excuse me. It is a blueprint. Ooh, excuse me. That's what happens when you wolf down lunch. This here needs to go. And I'm basing this whole factory design in very basic, loose, satisfactory terms. We are basing it off Boeing. So if you type in Boeing factory, it will come up and you'll see some of the videos or pictures that I'm using as reference points within the limitations. I'm not doing it proportionally the same size, of course. There are little things that are different, to say the least, but it is what it is, and I'm doing my best just to have a little bit of fun with it. Except this morning I couldn't get my head around anything at all, and it was just cocking up and just, so I was like, right, half an hour ago, or whatever it was, 15 minutes ago or whatever, I deleted it and was like, see you later, it's gone. It's a disaster. Let's just start again. So, brain is in gear. We now have full screen. We have food in my tummy. So, hopefully, this afternoon's stream will be way more successful and back to the normal thing than this morning's disaster. And anyway, we're getting there. So we're doing it 4 by 2 bays basically, and then the thing I noticed with the Boeing is that they are they repeat it a lot basically, and that's what I've come to the conclusion. Repeat and rinse. It's not exactly the same as them, but it's sort of along those lines. And I've got these actually around the wrong way on those beams, so we will shift those. They should be facing that way. Like that. That's better. So that can come out. Oop. That can go that way, spin around, nudge across. Oh yeah. Right, and that can come out. That's looking better. Yeah. Yep. Yep, indeed. Much better. Yep. There we go. That is looking a lot smarter. And I believe this should be at all the right height now, basically, for us. Now, where we? It's that height, isn't it? Okay. There we go. Now just to replicate all this across. So we got double height, double height, double height, and that. And I do believe they're beams. Yeah, they seem to be quite more solid than they are hollow, if you know what I mean. So let's do that. Even if we just do it for the bottom one on each of these, and then at least it will look, it's got a bit of weight in there basically. Doesn't want me to, there we go. Very good. Right, where are we? So I think the way they have this, by the look of the picture, is they sort of use them as a repeating sort of thing where needed. So we're just going to, I think, actually use Yeah, one there. What have we done? We've done the double on those ones, okay. Let's just save that again. Oh, what are we doing? Did we not save it? We did, but it's wrong. So let's do factory, and we'll call this, well, in the Boeing thing, they use them as offices and storage, so we're just going to go office storage, and I think we'll just use that as a reference point then. And then in the blueprints where I've got central offices, which is the one we were using, we can delete that then. Remove blueprint, confirm, apply changes. Right. So they by the look of the pictures, they sort of have a system like this where they effectively just use this over and over, almost again sort of type of scenario. But it's obviously a central weight system to help the span of the factory because they've got such large expanses, which is what I wanted was to try and find, because I knew doing a large factory like this, and obviously wanting to do a realistic factory, which is my first time ever doing one, because I've always done crazy builds. I wanted to understand how they were going to get such large expanses, and the largest thing I could find was basically the Boeing thing because of the airplanes with the wingspans, and they've got all this complex system of trusses basically up above, which I've sort of worked through as best as I can with the limitations of Satisfactory. And they've got these things which basically sort of make up blocks. So what I'm hoping to do is do like, oh, hello, there. Whether I can do something like that, or whether we separate them out a little bit and put a piece in between, which might work better, and just put some beams in. And they do something like that. And what that does, except it's not placed there because they actually have them that's in the wrong location. So let's just delete those a second. Didn't align them up, being the noob that I am. That's better because they're in line with these beams. There we go. So we've got a little ways still to come up. So let's just see how much more meterage we need. 8. And then the cross beam at the top. So we need 8 more meters on these. Which looks about right because I think there's 10 meters between each floor section. As I say, it's not proportional to the Boeing factory at all, but it gives you it's a sort of a taste of it. And we'll have these huge areas just going down, which will be for each component. So there's 12 components in total. So sort of the way it's sort of working out at the moment. I'm thinking probably it will be about 3 or 4 wide, probably possibly 4 wide, 4 bays wide, and then 3 deep. And they'll be quite long ones, of course, but yeah. Have to wait and sort of see how that goes, but in basic terms, I think that's roughly where we're headed. Now, let me have a quick peek back at the reference video photos of this. Okay, so interestingly, they don't have a beam at the top here, but I still actually do need one, because what they do is here, the halfway point, they have this occurring with, yeah, is the right point, that coming down as with the other floors. And it's kind of like a big weld plate thing here. So what I'm actually going to do is we're going to do, they don't have that, and then we're going to go to default. We're going to come down, we're going to steal one of those, stick that there, that there, that there, that there. And then I don't know whether I can pull this one off actually. I'll have to see, but yeah, I'm going to try and nudge that down to that level. Like that. Now what else can I do? Not a huge amount. They have a bit of a weld plate system going on from these onto the white, which I can use because of these plates here. So we could in fact do that. Let's save that and try it as another fit attempt and see how we go. So let's get these things aligned. Where are we? It's okay that way. Something like that. Let's see how that works out. Okay, we're a bit on the slack side there, so we need to come up, by the look of it, another meter. Okay. Try that. There we go. Right, let's delete that one. Go back to here, save that, confirm, replant that one in. Let's have a little look at it. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't mind because the well plate then meets up with the other one, which works quite nicely within the limitations of Satisfactory. I think that's not too shabby. Okay, that can work, and then what we can do is we can use another one, rotate it around, and we can space it. Spaceman. Like that. And then if we want it to join up, we can literally just stick some beams in between. I have yet still to put the beams in here. As you can see, they are not there on either end, I think. Yep. Then these can be walled. They can be used as storage areas. They can use whatever you want, basically. The interesting thing is these containers, I mean, show the size and proportion of this thing. A double height container fits within. So plenty of room for stuff, which is great. So we'll work on that. Let's just quickly finish off this properly so it is done. It doesn't want me to do it. We'll do it the hard way then. Nudge it. Did we put the weld plates on? Oh no, we don't need to because we've only got the beams on the one side. And I've done that so that we can space these out and use them accordingly how we want. Nope. There we go. Okay, save. Well, that's the next part of the blueprints done for the factory. So we'll just pop that there for the moment so we can see where we're going, where we're at. So I think obviously this is going to be a bit repeat and rinse across widthways, but what we do need to sort out is definitely the roof and what I'm going to be doing there. We also need to sort out a corner wall section so that when we get to the corner of the factory we can have an appropriate thing, because the windows are going to finish just before, so they'll finish with about 3 panels spare basically. So we need to sort out one of those. That's a fairly easy job because it's an adaptation effectively of what's already existing. And in fact we may be able to do it very easily. In fact, the nice thing about those walls is that the wall outer, I think that's the one, is that the cabling is effectively inside. It's hidden, which is really nice because of the double skin. It's actually technically not, it's in there, but it is sort of hidden. And if I really wanted to hide it, I could have pushed those in fact through onto the back of that wall. That's still a possibility. So what I'm thinking here is we might be able to adapt this piece. So let me go call this wall outer corner before I do anything, and then I can screw around with it if I need to. So we definitely need to get rid of windows for about 3 panels near the end. So we can go 1, 2, 3, and we can have the same blocked up on the inside. The only thing we'll need to do is we'll need to seal off the window at that end. Like sort of that. In fact, I think we're going to come in another one actually. Because what we're going to do, we're going to delete this end off completely so that we can come around the corner. Yep. This is where we're going to have to re-put in a new beam. We'll do that, delete that one. That one's already cut there. This one isn't, so we'll put a new one in. In fact, yeah, we can get rid of him and him. There we go. And then we can get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. him. Yeah. Try again. No, there we go. Why does it keep switching on me? Come on. You swine, just stay on the short one. Thank you. Knew it was gonna die. No. Right. Okay, so how do we do this corner? This is where it's going to get a little bit more tricky. So technically that goes there, and then, or does it? Yeah, no, it does go there, and then the second one comes out to there. But as you can see, what that leaves is this chasm of open thermal issues and drafts. So we've got a couple of options. We can either do like a really easy cheat, basically, which is like a metal pillar or a concrete or something, and you can take it up and fill that gap. But I don't really like the look of that, I have to say. The other option is more fiddly and can cause some errors in terms of the graphics then are going to change on the wall. So it's going to end up looking like that at the corners. And I don't like a lot of Z fighting, so for me I struggle with it. That's a better solution than the previous one, but it's not necessarily visually as pleasing because it alters the whole pattern. But then that's, where do you go? What do you do? This is the problem I have created for myself, basically. The other option is we go back and use a beam system. Which again admittedly is quite cumbersome. That actually, oh, it did overlap. So the other option is you bring it out not to overlap. then you end up with that, which, you know, let me paint it the same colours as the wall, which is that off-white. At least you don't get the Z fighting with it. Well, you do a little bit on there, but it's not actually a real change of pattern on the wall. It just means that the corner is different. Choices, choices, choices. Oh. And the answer I do not know. I mean, admittedly, I don't like it, to be honest, so I won't do it. But the more I look at it, the more I don't like it. The problem we've got is that we've created this beast for ourselves. Where edges don't meet. So what you got to see it as is the entirety of how that's going to play on each other, which is effectively that. I mean, it's not shockingly bad. It's bad, but it's not shockingly bad. I just don't like the Z fighting at all. And again, this is where if it was 1.1 and infinite nudge was around, I could just manipulate it a fraction and stop the Z fighting. I think that will have to do. I think it will have to be as is. So what we're going to do, we're going to, yep, stick that up all the way. We'll put some more beams in a second. Yep, going to right, do that one now. And then we can pop that in. Now what I was thinking was if we actually took that through to the next wall, then the cabling is completely hidden. So we will change the blueprint. We'll do that. It's going to look way, way better. Or not, because you're not going to see it. As long as the cabling is set up prior to building, then basically you just got to link into it, which is cool. So that one can go. And then we can it's a bit of a fiddle doing it, but it's, you know, once it's set up, it's set up. So I'm not sort of panicking about it. Ooh, that's pretty good. Now the question is, we're going to have to probably undo the panel, aren't we? Where are you? There you are. Where was the one that I put in? It's gone. It's vanished. Well, that didn't work very well, did it? Didn't do what I wanted. So if I stick... Hang on a minute. Oh no, he is there. He is there. We will let you off. There you go. Then we can rebuild that wall. In fact, we don't want to just yet, sorry. Because we want to bring the cable along. And we're going to re-hide. Okay. Now that's where it was previously. So I'm going to stick it there, get rid of that one. There we are. That's okay, and we can link those up after. And we did then have one up high as well, which I'm going to get rid of. Yep. And there's one there. There's that one hiding in there nicely. No, that one's got to come out as well. That's better. Okay, so we have wire going in to around here. We just need ideally another one set up the top somewhere. So let's just take this fella, not that one, do this one, and just take him up to this edge. Take him into there. And we'll do a half nudge. No, it doesn't like that. Okay, let's face him the other way, face him off the same wall. Like that. That's better. Then we'll do one here. And going along to this edge. Hopefully we are above the windows. Yes, we are. Nudge that one in. Cabling in the wall. And we'll have to change the other blueprint, the original blueprint, for the nun corner version. So what I'm thinking at the moment is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this, and we probably need to do the same across here is my guess. And then we'll leave the end one because the end of all the walls has a beam, so there's no point in putting across. Now the other ones we need to do here, here, Here we can come across all the way. $32. Okay. Oh, wrong. Cut it off too soon. Like that. Then we just got to do some wall. Now I think questions. Yeah, no, we will do it. Okay. So we'll do 3 panels in, 1, 2, 3, and then the windows are there. And then we've got the internal ones. Which are all the way up with no steel on the inside, because these are the posher insulated sides. Stop there. Come across. Come across. Then we add in just a couple of these pillars to just seal off the windows. Oh, I've come too far, haven't I, on the windows? Oh, there we go. Try again. Now, where did I take that from? I think I half nudged it like that. Yep. And then that one going up. And we do the same, do a half nudge. Not that way, but that way. Is that right? Yeah. Half nudge. I think that is correct. Means we've got nice sealed airtight windows in. No drafts in this factory, unlike the foundry, which has huge barn doors. Right, anything left to do now is put some of these weight thingies, engineering dispersants of weight. This needs to go back. Now, how far? This is the question. And this one here, because of the shape of the beam, the way it was, it doesn't actually quite fit, but it's more decorative to the surface of the panel. Obviously that goes in there. Took that other one a little bit too far, I think. Anyway. Okay, let's do that. Suppose you got your beams, just need some of these distributing the loss down to that. And small one up in here. Just like that. There we go. Right, let's save that. Save. Try it out on this corner over here. See how it's sitting. Make sure everything is good. So factory wall outer corner. Okay, so we can come in to there somewhere. What's happened here? Why is it sitting so high? Interesting. Did that the blueprint, not the wall blueprint, sit correctly? That's why it wasn't clearing the blooming thing properly. That explains a lot from this morning. I knew my brain was not in gear this morning at all, but that explains a lot. Right, okay, well that's cool, because what that means then, if that is wrong, and all this is wrong, but that explains a lot, so that's fine. That's the whole point of doing these blueprint experiments here. Factory wall outer. Now, yep, the height was completely out. Well, that's okay. We've got to change this blueprint anyway, because we've got to put the power against the back of the wall. So we might as well go do that, and then we know that that's now correct. Then we can reset this up, which is good. That solved one little problem out that was niggling. So that's good. Wall corner, save blueprint, that's all correct. Clear blueprint, load blueprint, factory wall outer. So the only thing we need to do here, if I can find them, there's one. Should be another one up here. Yep. And then the same on this side. One there. One there. So what we're going to do, I can't remember where I stuck them on the corner one, because I'm a noob. So it was the second height, same rough position. Okay. Except we only did one down here and then we did one up high, so that's fine, and that's what I want. So we did one at the second height here, so that can go in to there. I do like having that double thickness of wall. I know in the past when I've done factories, A lot of my factories obviously are not normal factories. So it's not a sort of a normal situation, but normally I've used just half foundations and buried the wires in, but actually making a double skin, although it's technically more items obviously on your map. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with my frame rate with this build, because this is very, very dense in terms of the amount of complexity with all the roof beams and everything. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens. Okay, factory wall warehouse save, confirm. All this is going to be deleted, and then we're going to have to redo this little fella because he is now at the wrong height. This is what happens. Fix one problem, or fix one problem, and then you create another. See how that sits? It's absolutely bizarre that it sits that low. Just automatically goes there. It doesn't automatically sit on the foundation above you. Mad. Right. But the good news is we now have a working wall system. And that's going to mean that is going to be out, but we'll leave it there so we can get a height reference. It's going to be 4 meters out, but I like to double check if I can. Right, where are we going? Here we go again. Right, factory, roof beams outer. Now, yeah, because that's the one with the gutter. We've got to do a corner version as well at some point. That's why I did what I did originally, and then I had to change this blueprint. And now I know why. What an idiot. Oh well. See, originally I built the white frame on its own without a wall section attached, and I thought that's odd because when I fitted it in here, I was looking at it thinking, why is it too low? It just doesn't work out. And of course, what I hadn't clicked was that this foundation was sitting too low and had actually gone wrong. And look at the height difference now. I mean, this is going to be so much better. So let me just go back in here. We'll do factory roof beams, beam pyramid beams, 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 beams. All right. There. Okay. This makes so much more sense now. There's so many things that in my brain that have clicked now that that's happened, where it just like, yeah, okay, that's why. So that one goes that way. And fits to the end over there. Factory crane runners. Factory crane runners 2. That's the one there that's just literally got where are we going? Yep, we just need to come across. Is that right? Yeah, looks like it. Very good. Then we can put in the crane, or part of it. Crane part end. What does that mean? That's not the crane. Crane part end. This is for the 100 thingy. Factory crane is the one we want, isn't it? Yep. Right. What I've got to work out which way this blooming thing's going. So I think. Hello, what's it doing up there? Nope, round the wrong way. After all that, factory crane. Come on, you stupid thing. There you go. That is sitting correct. That's sitting correct. That's sitting correct. That's sitting correct. It's fine. What could possibly go wrong? Stick it there. Okay, so blueprints are making more sense now and they lock together, which is good. So what we've got to do is bring out the roof beams. That's the other stuff. Got excuse me. That's better. That is better. Snapping together much better. Right. So now we've corrected those blueprints. This now needs to be corrected as a blueprint to get the height. So if we just save that for the moment, clear, load. And I think it's 4 meters. Yep. That's a little bit of a pain because it actually throws out all of the diagonals, floor heights. hmm Why? Just why? So if we get rid of those and we add 5, that is the now new correct height. Oh man, why do we do this to ourselves? You imagine the days when we had to build factories like this with no blueprints. hmm Yeah. Once the blueprints are sorted out, it'd be very, very, well, I won't say it's very, very easy, but it's a lot easier um, to get the basic factory actually built. Then we can worry about all the subdivisions within it and where each of the plants are going for each of the categories of the space elevator builds. So, yeah. But at this stage, it's heading in the right direction. Slowly, slowly. Once I've got the blueprints sorted for this basic factory, I'll probably set up an area of it, but I'll leave it for a bit and then we'll go back and have to do the other factory. I've got rocket fuel, by the way, now going really, really well down the far end at the power plant. We're now up to, I think, about 130, 140,000 on the power supply, and I've only done 2 of the 6 possible potential rows, so that's going really, really well. I will only probably do another 2 rows at the most, to be honest, at some point. The foundry, we've got the iron done. That's producing the iron ingots now fully across all the 8 lanes. So that's going to be eventually trained over into this zone over here at the Rocky Desert, which is going to then build screws, plates, and rods and wire, stuff like that. And then that's all going to get trained just around the corner to here for building all the space elevator parts. So we're getting there. It just takes time, and the logistics are all going to be finished. I've got to get the railway line in because all the stuff in the foundry with all the ingots is going to be brought down this line and into this other setup for the basic commodities. So it's just one step at a time. And when I get bored on one section for a little bit, then I'll go off and potter on something else. This was a complete distraction, really, last night, and I really should be doing other things, but I can't be bothered because I quite enjoy this. Right, where were we? We were building this up, weren't we? Another 4 meters. So, yes, this is. You swine of a thing. Right, so if we do this, we come up 4 meters. So if we brought up that 1 meter more, 1 meter more, that's then 2 meters more, isn't it? That makes sense. 2 meters up, and then that would be 3 meters up. 1, 2, 3. Then that one would be the 4 meters, I think. I'm not sure if my maths is correct there because I didn't really calculate it. I just ran off my head. So if that one was there, that would push this up technically by to there. And then we'd go up 3, 1, 2, 3 to there. Kind of looks about right, actually. Okay. Well, the good news is I don't have to delete that one. That can stay. Doesn't like it. I have to go along and nudge it. Oh. 1, 2. That'll do. Ah, no. I forgot to turn it, didn't I? What a turn it head. There we are. It's now going to let me do it anyway. So that's that. That then means these all need to come up 1 meter. That means those are going to be deleted. Like that. That's going to be deleted. That's going to go there. Come on. Nope, doesn't want me to do it again. Do that and nudge. Oh no, I've got to rotate it first. I always forget that for some reason, don't know why. There we go. Right, so that bottom layer is nearly correct. What's going on there? H, thank you. No. Done it again. Rotate first. Then nudge. Right, so that is a bottom layer done. We're going to have to change the position of these well plates again. Because they are now incorrect. And we're going to change from there. Slight change in the angle for obvious reasons. Like that. Let's I wonder if we can do this. Is it going to let me? Just need to go in half a nudge that way. Oops. No. No. Come on. Thank you. Is that correct? No. Might as well bring out actually just a reference point from the other way. Be easier. It will be easier. Just like that. Like that. So much easier. In fact, we'll keep one reference point for that height, and then we can. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't need it. Right. Okay. So that's that bottom floor resorted. Now we need to come up here and do the two floors, the two other parts. At least I remembered to nudge it. I mean, turn it before I nudged. Dope. Right. Let's take that out. Take that out. Take that out. Yeah, I'm gonna take you out as well. Now what we will do, we will bring one off here actually. Default. Take it up. And here we need to come up 1, 2. Okay, so then we're going to do that to there, diagonal, back down to then. I think that is the same angle. It looks it from this perspective. Little cross check, 12, 12, yeah. Where do we go in? That was pretty much down there. Did it finish before? No, it was finished in. Did finish in. Again, little reference check, 12 meters. 12 meters. Okay, and then we'll do the weld plate coming in to there, I believe. Come on, there you go. across the other side. Ugh. Did I not? Okay. Yep. Very good. That's 2 floors corrected. Just this one to go. And the top little piece there that goes up into the white ceiling beams. And this basically takes a lot of the support of the expanse as it comes across. And you can check these out on the Boeing factory site. If you just Google Boeing factory, basically it will come up, and it's one of the world's largest, as I've stated before, and it's just I'm using it as a reference point basically for building my supersized factory. Even though it's for making airplanes, but it looks super cool. It's just got a lot going on, which I really love. Frame rate, I will not love it, but that's a separate issue. Frame rate will have a meltdown. I know. I want to get that reference point if I can. There it is. And it is in the bottom one. There it is. Diagonal. Kadum. Hello. Why is that one going funny on me? Did that one stick out the side? No, it didn't. So why is this one wanting to? What's different? That's a different gap. Interesting. 1, 2. Yeah, it is a different gap. We've done that wrong somewhere. That's almost on 2. That's almost on the second one. That's almost on the second one. That isn't on the second one. It's this one that's wrong, weirdly enough, even though we thought we had that right. That's going to go in there then. Technically it shouldn't. Technically it should actually. We've got to change this. Should go like that onto that weld plate. Like that. Change of angle. And that's where this one's wrong. Because it should be going down, I guess, like that. Or is that 2? Oh, that might be too much actually. Maybe it's that middle section. Let's have a little look. No, I've still done it wrong, haven't I? Flippin' heck. Is that one there? Oh dear, dear, dear. All right. That's starting to look a bit better. That means that one is wrong. And we are going from... It's weird how the... It must be the way I've positioned... It must be the way I've positioned the blimmin' rotation piece. That's what it'll be. There's going to be some discrepancies there, I think. That's not looking too bad, that's looking okay. So let's take that out, take that out, take that out. We just need to put the weld plate in up here then. So we go straight, stick that there. Awesome. There we go. So that's the 3 done. We just literally got this little bit up here to do, which, yes, is all going to be lifted up 4 meters. Was it 4 meters? Oh my word, 5 meters. And what did we actually do here? I've got to try and remember what I actually did. Yes, in principle we did that, but then we lowered it, didn't we? No, we didn't, but we can't because we're at the maximum height. In fact, we're over the... Okay, how am I going to do this? How are we going to do this? Well, we do know we can probably do that part of it, so let's... Not really. Ah, maybe we've got the height actually wrong on this anyway. Maybe. It needs to be there. We'll find out in a minute. I'll do a quick test run with it again. Okay, so that's that little bit done. Can we now fit in these fellas or not? No. You're at your maximum height. Okay, well that's... Well, we might have to do a bit of a compromise, as we do with Satisfactory. We do that. that. All that was left was the ones coming out the sides. Might be able to still get them in and just slither them across a little bit. We'll have to, where are we? Have to play a little bit of a game, see if we can do it. See if we can. So if we put that there, then come across, then go back half a notch. Half a notch up. Yeah. We'll do that. We will do that. I think that's going to be the best bet. Comes across, I think, still. Yep. There you go. We got a workaround. We found a way around it. That is the most important thing. And then we just need last lot of well plates on here. So then we can be done with this little swine of a thing. Well, it was my own fault because I cocked up on the other blueprint. So we've had to sort of make it all twice, unfortunately. That is incorrect. You have failed your mission. There you go. That is the one. This is the way. Right. Very good. I think. Ah, nearly. Not quite. Just got the floor to move up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There. Yep, that one. I've seen strange things in optical illusion. Optical illusion. H nudge boom. H nudge boom. So these then can go. We're very close. And we've got those ones to do here as well. Right, that's that floor done. This one here needs coming up on all of those accounts. It's alright though. Last lot to do, and then that is this little project. Underway, which is good. I try and view each thing I do in here because a lot of them are quite detailed and got a lot of work in them. I try and view each little project I do, whether it's on this map or whether it's on the other map, the organics map. I try and view each section as a little project, and mini projects, so I don't get too overwhelmed by it all, because it's like on a map years ago when I spent 500 hours doing a blimmin' coal plant. You know, I burnt out on it, and it was because I just got so sort of like into the whole thing. I just couldn't see the end of it almost, and when I did, I just had enough. And I've learnt subsequently to break the thing down, and that's why I've got different things happening on the map at different stages, so that I can actually go and take a break and go and do something else, basically. Really, really important when you're working on big projects to be able to break up the project so you don't get overwhelmed. So I try to view each like mini blueprint as a mini project, get that done, and it's like, woohoo, I've accomplished something and I feel good about it. And then it's kind of like, okay, the next one is the next blueprint, or it's putting the blueprints together and getting them to work as another mini project sort of thing. So I don't view it as, oh, this is a big factory sort of thing. I've got to try and mentally keep myself in the right space with it, because nobody in their right mind would take on factories this detailed. But then again, I'm not in my right mind. Right, save. Let's try this one out for size. Excuse me, sir, do these shoes fit you comfortably? Let's try it. Looking good, looking good. Move it along. I think we stink. I think we actually have a finished mini project. Yay. Okay, lock it in just for the moment. So we can start to see how everything's piecing together. I'm really, really pleased with that. And proportionally, it's not looking too far out actually. We still have room for double height containers if we so desire or need them or whatever, or we can turn them into office floors. We can do all sorts of things because we can just raise them up to the right level. You can even get them smooth if you want by just dropping them down half a clip, and that works as well. So there's all sorts of options there, which is beautiful. What we want to do is introduce another one of those. And I think we're going to turn it around that way. No, we're not. We are keeping it that way. All right then. Yep, that's correct. Yes, that is correct. And then we want the mirror version, I think, of that. Mirror. Factory roof. No, factory crane runners 2. Factory crane runners mirror. That's the one. I've been playing for 6 hours. Yeah, well, that's because I'm off work today. I think that's correct. Plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. And we'll see if we can get the rest of the crane across. So this piece here, I think we can replicate that across here somewhere, if I remember rightly. I might be wrong though. I usually am. I am wrong. Right, factory crane. Let's try factory crane parts 2. I'm going to... I thought we could... Crane part... Factory crane, not crane part. So factory crane part 2. It must be, there must be. Was it for this bit? Right, yeah, I think so. Let me just shove this in. If only we could actually get these things to actually work, that would be cool. Have to pay space engineers to get that to happen. I'm still waiting. I've bought it. I've got Space Engineers 2, but I am not streaming it or playing it at the moment. I'm waiting until they have a few other things added to it, like water. Once they've got their water mechanics sorted and released, then that should fit in there. I don't know why it's not. Maybe that way around. Maybe that's what I did wrong. Yeah. Look at that. Looks about there. Looks about there. Is it aligned up with these beams? Yes, sitting nicely. Correct. Now the part 2 is the little bit, the factory crane part 2 is this little bit. No, something has changed. Something has changed. Dun dun dun. Because it was two parts before that fitted in the middle. What on earth has happened? Was this meant to go around the other way? I really need to write this down. I've got to that age in life. I've got to that age in life I need to write stuff down. Let me try something here. So factory crane. Because I've got a feeling if it's out one way, it's going to be out. Yeah, maybe it just needed rotating. That's what I was looking at and thinking, I wonder if it just needs good old rotation. Guess what? It just needs a good old rotation. And that means these beams are out around the wrong way. Um, I do this. And that's okay. Don't know whether this is still going to be right. Actually, I think there's I've done something different this time around, and I don't know what. Don't know what I've done differently. Because here, it's all going to probably work very nicely, but I haven't used the little in-between one, which has now confused me. That's okay. Did I have an extra bay in maybe between? I don't know. I'd have to go back and check, but still looks cool. Okay. Well, this isn't permanent anyway. It's all going to be coming out and being re-put in accordingly once I've got the actual layout sorted. It is just a setup, but we know we have the bits anyway, and I'll just need to play with them and make a note somewhere of how these bits actually work. And then I'll be able to actually do it correctly. And that is the beauty of the blueprint. What I don't know, and I haven't tried, is whether auto-connect will auto-connect the electrics, whether it will sling wires across or not. That's what I don't know. I've never actually tried that. Let me just do that, sorry, while we're playing. So R mode, go to auto connect, then H, and is it going to find, no it's not, it must only be for railways and belts then and things, and not for electrics. Oh well, it was worth a try. Here's to wishful thinking. And then that means here, oh, I've missed one in the blueprint, look. Was that the... Interesting. So there's one there. Where's the... There. No, that's not the one. That's not the one. Ooh, that's... We not corrected that blueprint yet. Okay, another one to sort out. Another one to correct. Let's check it out anyway. So we'll do that. We'll save that. Clear blueprint designer, load blueprint designer. We'll go back to the factory wall, outer wall. Just double check what I've done here or not. If I haven't corrected, I thought I had, but I hadn't. It may be we just hadn't reloaded them into these positions, the new one. Yeah, no, we haven't looked. There's still a swine sitting there, and a swine sitting there. What a fine swine they are. Right, stick that in there. Oh. Nudge it in once. I think we've done down the bottom, but we hadn't sorted out the top. Yeah, because the bottom one's done, look. I just haven't sorted out the top end. Okay. That can go across to there. Then we can save that. Confirm. Let's go back. In approximately 1 minute, I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea, and then I'll be back. Where are you? Blueprint, factory, wall, outer. Thank you. It's doing its silly thing again to the foundation below. Why it does that, I do not know. Okay, so that... Well, it's showing power signs there though. I wonder if it will connect it. I don't think it does though, because when I go here there's only 1 of 10, so it hasn't connected it. What we can't get to is these ones in here, which I'll need to then manually do, I think. Which one was it? It was on the second height, wasn't it? There. And where's the other one going this way? Oh. So that one there. That's 1 of 10. Yep, needs to connect to that one. There we go. That should be connected then, technically. We'll find out at some point when I get power to it. Whoa. Okay, so anyway, it's a start. We're heading in the right direction. Bit of flapping around, I know, but it's part of the joys of blueprints and complex builds, or relatively complex builds. Complex in a different sort of ways. My organic buildings are a lot more complex, but they're sort of like in a very artistic way, so it doesn't sort of matter so much for me because that's my go-to. This for me is out of my comfort zone, doing flat factories and stuff because I've never really done it before, and it's a lot of, you know, um, repetitive sort of getting things in a line and straight and all this sort of stuff, which I'm just not used to. But we'll get there. I'm enjoying it anyway. It's a good point of difference. Now, the other thing we need to do is we do need to set up a corner version of the gutter roof thing here because that's going to also have an impact of, mind you, no, we don't, or do we? We do need an end one, but I think, because depending what we do with the roof, I've really got to decide whether we're going flat roof or whether we're going pitch. That is a biggie, basically. Um, yeah, it's going to make a big difference. I know the foundry we went pitch, but I'm wondering whether we should go flat on this and have leaky roof syndromes. While I'm contemplating that, I'm just going to go AFK for literally 2 minutes and get a cup of tea. Be right back. I am back. Okay, so I think we're going to go flat. So what I've got to do is work out flat roof in conjunction with gutter. So I think we'll have something like this. I'll be doing it in a blueprint, but I just want to have a little setup. And because nothing with me is ever simple, apart from my brain, which is incredibly dumb. We'll stick a slope in there for the water to drain off. Except is that going to leave enough? Not that piece. Is that going to leave enough room really to do what we want to do, to put a roof above like that? Because ideally I want it actually about there with a gap here so that we can have insulation, of course, and wiring and other stuff. If we could get it to that, would be ideal. Unless we put in a slope for a 2 meter like that. That could possibly work. It's going to be a bit messy at this end though, it's not going to be very neat. Unless of course I raise and do it around the other way. I put that there, take that one out. That then, come here, comes up to that point. Because then I was thinking you can have these silly where are they? Not the inverted ones. These thingies. Taking it around. And it's just a bit like gullies, you know, basically on a roof. I mean, they're a bit extreme because they don't look like that in reality, but it's a big roof, so you need big gullies. I mean, I've put a good gutter-sized gutter on, but I'm just thinking that that may be a better option. We could even come up to that height, which would be a better height. And then we can have little supports holding the ceiling as well down onto the metalwork, which just leaves us enough room to do that because we can probably then put in like a a little thingy here and go, where are we, logistics? No, we want architecture, of course. And I think that's going to be too big, too brutal. But then again, you know, depending on how we cap that. Do a half notch. I mean, that could potentially work if you want to do it the brutal sort of way, or you can go for a more subtle way like we've been doing using the smaller ones. We could do something like that with one of these fellas. No, it's not going to like that. Why won't it like it? It's not. No. Small concrete's probably too big because that's going to poke through the ceiling probably. No, that could work. That's a bit more subtle, a bit more gentler. And then that would be basically a flat roof. Could be made up like that. That's one way of doing it. In fact, you could have this asphalt like that. It's a bit cheesy, but you could have those once every sort of like every other wall unit. Basically, we could build it into the center and do it every other wall unit. But I have to work out how that's going to actually look in the long run. Okay, well, let's make up a little blueprint for this and just see. So basically what we need is we need to start with some small walls, basic walls, 1, 2, 3 high. That's basically what we're looking at. Okay. Save outer wall, clear blueprint designer. Now, the other thing I need to think about just that is the positioning of that. It's to the edge, yes, but how far in? So there's the blueprint. And that's the outer one, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a nudge, I think, squares out. Five and a nudge squares out, so that's 2, 4, 5, yeah. And I think it's like that, but I'm not sure. It might be half a nudge. But I think it's that because I think the outer wall came to there and then the next one there, but I'm not sure which one it's aligned with. We'll do it in white initially just to get a placement and see how things are going. Where are we? Now the galley, if we're going to do this, we wanted to be 3 high, didn't we? Sorry. That's what we said. So let's come in 2. Let's come in 2. Foundations. Just do it concrete for the moment. might even, just to simplify that part, might even actually bring that to the correct positioning. Like that. And then we can do a architectural thingamajiggy, what's it like that? And the reason why I'm thinking that is because in reality you'd probably have a little flange hanging over, so the water would pour into the thing. Technically not. It is how my brain is thinking, but not. I'm probably totally wrong. They'd never have anything like this. So just ignore us. Actually, the other day we were watching, my wife and I were watching a program, a master something, architectural program anyway. And they came across, they were dealing with flat roofs basically, and I said to them, there's a very simple solution to all this biz nonsense with flat roofs, and I don't know why everybody hasn't done it. It's and it's actually quite amusing because I just look at it and think, why has nobody done this? And there's probably a really good reason. I just don't know. I just found it amusing because I couldn't believe that nobody had thought of the most basic thing. But anyway, and of course I'm not going to say what it is. In case I ever actually decide to design it. The only problem, yeah, doing that is going to be that, but we can technically get around that by doing this. Which is okay. I can live with that. It's on the roof anyway, we're not going to really see it. I just want to get a feel for how this is going to work, or how it's going to look on a scale, you know, across the... Obviously the roof is not going to be just completely like flat all the way and everything with just these gullies spotted around across the whole thing. We will have things that you find on roofs like crazy air conditioning units or fans and all that sort of stuff. So you know, all that stuff will come in to play eventually, where we have, you know, this sort of stuff going on. Chrome, maybe chrome. Okay. Now what I don't know, actually thinking about that, that's probably not gonna... Right, let's just save this as roof test, save blueprint. I'm just going to have a little nosy. Just delete this off here. It might look better in asphalt, we'll have to wait and see. And if we're really clever, what we'll actually do on this blueprint, once we get this bit sorted alignment, we'll see how much room is underneath. We might be able to put those pillars on and build it in, save adding them later. And that will be save us a lot of hassle. 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. Here we go. Let's try it. Roof test. What we wanted, ordinary blueprint. Boom. And then we can adjust. So technically that wants to go, I think, there. And we're going to need to come down to at least there. Wish it was daytime at the moment here actually in Satisfactory. I'll be able to see a bit better. Bit of Z fighting, that's because we haven't painted it black. Oh, we didn't get the alignment that way. Okay. Okay, well let me just paint that back black so we don't get that in the end, because it's a bit too harsh on the eyes. And we can make the roof darker and all sorts of things. We'll sort that out later. Roof test save. We'll keep playing with that. Once I see the big expanse of it starting to go in, then I'll know more what I need to do. Blueprint, roof test. Across one notch, down one notch. And I think it's across the other way one notch as well. Like that. Looks about right. Let's pop it in. Why is these two showing up as two different colours? They should be the same colour. It's that colour there. Weird, isn't it? Very clear difference between the two, even in the torchlight. Yeah, it's the same colour. I don't understand stuff like that sometimes. I'm guessing it's because this is wet and this isn't. Maybe this little bit of thing is changing. That's what it is. Look, yeah, you can see the line there. Hilarious. Okay. I mean, it's going to be a dreadfully boring roof, but I don't know. I'll have to. Because I don't think on the Boeing, Boeing, where are we? I don't think they show us the actual thing. Oh, maybe they do they? No. Let's just have a little look. See if we can find out what's going on with it. Yeah, I don't think it shows us. I think it just does the internal. Ah, there it is. Boom. Okay. Oh wow, yeah, it is like super flat. It is like super, super, super flat. I was not expecting that. Well, that makes it easy, and it has got like a million of air conditioning units on top, so that's okay. We'll stick with it. We'll run with it. Gullies technically don't happen, of course, because they have internal gutters, which is why the roofs leak. Um, but there we go. So I'm producing a completely fake scenario where we don't have that. We have a little lip that takes it over. But anyway. And then basically what they have is the parapet comes up a little bit higher. Um, why is that not? Thank you. So they, in fact, would actually have, it looks like this almost, basically. And that looks a bit neater, except they bring it up one more above. So I think if we do something like that, that'll be all right. And of course, down from ground level, you hardly notice it, of course, because the gutters hide and the little soffit and that hide it mostly. Right, let's pop that in on the blueprint as well. We are getting there slowly, slowly, these little design technical issues. A few years back I worked for a precast concrete company doing 3D CAD work, which some of you know. And yeah, problem solving all the time was one of the key things, little things that come up. Like you'd have a panel, concrete panel like this, and there'd have to be what they call a 50 mil cover on this side, and 50 mil cover, say, on that side. And what that means is it's just enough concrete with the sealant on and stuff to stop water going in and then rusting out the rebars effectively inside, and it stops the rebars staining the outside of the concrete if you've got enough cover. And so basically you'd have a 50 mil cover, and then there might only be like 100 mil left, and oh sorry, 50 mil left, because you get 50, 50 and 50, so it'd be like a 150 mil panel. And the engineer would come in and it basically send you drawings and he'd say you need 5 HD 16 bars going through here next to each other. And of course you're like, well, have you not actually sat down and done your maths, mate? I mean, you're an engineer. 5 HD 16 mil bars do not fit in 50 mil. So yes, so you'd have to, sometimes they wouldn't reply with answers and you'd have to throw up ideas yourself and chuck it back at them. And then because they're engineers, they'd deny that you actually came up with a solution. So they'd puzzle on it for weeks and then come back with the same thing as what you'd done in different wording and say that they've solved the problem. it, it was hilarious. I do love my engineering friends, but they are on a different planet sometimes. And the roof was asphalt, by the way, on the top of the Boeing. By the look of it, it's just a usual flat roof, basically. But I think the asphalt, I'm not sure on here, but the asphalt just looks a bit weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not seeing enough of it, but it almost looks like it's sort of a browny grey, if you get my drift. Whereas I'd like to see perhaps a different sort of grey, more a bit darker than that, but what can we change? This colour I'm not using at the moment, swatch 9. We're going to be more of a blue grey than a grey. We'll play around a little bit with this and see what happens. Very annoying, I still can't save colours. Put a name in and it just... Oh, no, it doesn't do it. Yeah, it just doesn't save it. Very annoying. So you have to copy paste the actual hexagonal code. Now the thing I don't like about the concrete doing that is you get this effect with the two-tone in there. And it annoys me that there's a two-tone on concrete. It's like, really? So what we're going to do, I don't know whether that has any impact whatsoever. I don't think it will because I think it's on the other swatch. But it's a single colour and it gives us two colours still on it, which is really frustrating. Anyway, so we want it to be a bit more bluey in it. Control C, Control V, select colour. Can't really tell the difference between that. It's almost too subtle for it to actually pick up. Which is a shame. Let's go to there, see how we do. Control C, Control V, select. It's losing a little bit of its warmth doing that, but not a lot. I don't like that double thing happening there with the this though. That drives me mad. Mad. Maybe asphalt it needs to be. Maybe I just have to lump it and like it. Just thought, I wonder if we could, this is me being a little bit now paranoid-y weird, but I kind of like it. I'm wondering whether we can get this in here to show. And paint it like a black. Doesn't quite show. This is where Infinite Nudge would have been perfect, because you could literally get that to just come up above the surface just a fraction so you can see it, and it will look like the strips you have tar that they have where they seal the rolls. That would have been awesome. Just try a different one in case it works differently with different ones. Doesn't look like it's going to. It looks like they've aligned it perfectly, unfortunately, in this case. Most cases I'd be very, very grateful. Same. I don't think we can nudge it. Yeah, because if I nudge it, it's going to come up way too high. Well, unless we can do tricks of back into the old days, the old tricks back in the bygone days, where we do crazy stuff like this. And sometimes you can put in, where is it? Barrier, and because I think on a barrier, if I remember rightly, you can put one of these across the top like that. So if you can get the height right on this, because you've got infinite effectively difference of nudge on here, then you can do it. So let's we're going to give it a go just because we can. Okay, nearly. We're nearly. That is pretty close. That is pretty close. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring that to there, so we've got a reference point. We're going to bring that to there, so we've got a reference on that. And then this one here we're going to delete. And we just want to come down a smidge. Like I reckon about somewhere around there. Oh, let's give it a go, let's give it a go. I mean, this will be a hell of a setup to do to get across the whole flipping thing, but is that going to start looking like the black tape? The tar, black tar. Let's just get a reference off there for a second. Get rid of that so we're not seeing that flicker. Stick that back in for the minute. It's probably still a fraction high. But I think we can get the tar look on the flat roof. So we need to go pull that one to there. And then this one undo. And then we need to pull it down again, another smidge about there. Let's go with that. That's getting, I think that's pretty close now. That is pretty close. I don't think I'll go for black because it's kind of almost too black. But I think we can go for a dark grey somewhere or something. Ooh, that's way too light. Ooh. Yeah, that's quite a nice colour. And that does look a bit like where they put the tile strips across the thing. So we might be able to make a bit of patchwork up as if they've had roof repairs as well. I know it's insanity, but don't worry. I am the mad otter. So let's just I'm gonna, yes, we're okay. No, that one wasn't it. Let's just save this for a second. Roof test. We'll come back up. So far the blueprints today have gone well. We've got corner wall done with internal wiring. We've got a normal wall section with internal wiring. We've got roof framework. We've got the rails for the crane. We've got the crane system all aligned. We're doing all right. The mega factory is going to be mega. It's just going to take a bit of time to get stuff sorted. Got the water gutter system sorted because we know it now rains a lot in Satisfactory. It does on my map. I love it. I've really missed the rain in Satisfactory. I think that's correct. So we'll do these gullies like every other one. You're not really going to notice them from the floor. When you go down, it's like the gutter itself and the soffit's going to cover it all. Soffit. But I think in basic terms, so we won't have gullies every one. We'll just do them every few or something, every 3 or 4 or something. But then I'll do a patchwork with this stuff just for the hell of it. Like where they've had repairs. And it'll add just to that sort of like realism aspect of, no, you can't go off there. It's got to be off the existing height. You can chop and change it, of course, and stuff, but we'll be able to do that later just for laughs and giggles after at the end of the build. But it will add something to the roof to see. I mean, when you get an expanse this size, and we've got all the air conditioning units and everything else to stick on yet, I'll have to make those and get those all in, and then we'll pull those down with fans, with piping, and actually build in the air conditioning stuff as well, which will be a bit of fun. But yeah, it's heading in the right direction. And this height is okay. It gives us enough height here to underneath to which is the next thing to do in the blueprint before we convert it completely to a finished product, is I'm going to put wiring stuff in as well. We're going to have to put in some of these things dotted around. so we can get it wires going across, and then we can always link them up to the walls if we want. And then the other thing we need to do is also put in these. We're going to be very close, but we should be able to do it. We should be able to put in the little pillar supports that come down to hold all this framework to the ceiling, or the ceiling to the framework to be more precise. Because the ceiling ain't taking the weight of all that lot. That steel works doing the job and holding the roof. One of the projects I worked on 7 years ago almost now. It would be about 7 years ago actually. I was working on a place called Ravenscar House. If you ever get a chance, Google it. It's in Christchurch. It's a private home stroke gallery that this couple who are an art collector basically got permission to build this concrete thing, and it was a very bizarre build. I mean, it had the concrete panels themselves were all like almost as if the concrete had broken away and was exposing stone and brick and stuff underneath, and that it was a very unusual build. But one of the main parts I worked on was the roof, which was made up of 50 tons of concrete panels that were effectively floating on top of a steel framework. And yeah, it was an interesting project. Didn't have a clue. It was my first project in the industry. I've been an artist all my life, and got that job, and man, it broke me after 5 years. But not the work, but the people. Had to get out, but the work was actually really interesting, and I've learned a lot from it. Right, let's see if we can do this and get the other underneath bits in. But we know we can do this now, which is good. And I'm actually going to, if we can, I'm actually going to keep the reference point in there, so that I'm going to keep on one panel, and then we've always got it. I'll keep this as a test piece, and then we'll rename it something else when it's finished. And it means then we've actually got one if we need to do anything. So meanwhile, let's come down, close that off, and before we actually fully close this off, let's just start to bundle in some cables. If I come across 3, to about there, that means as a repeating pattern we'll get enough cable around to do whatever we want, basically, should we need it. Something like that. Right, now the only other thing we need to work out is where the beams are. So the beams are, just so we've got the supports coming down. On the back burner, and then the 2, so 1, 3 and 5 basically. Basically back here. So if I just put 1, 3 and 5. I just put that there for the moment. 1, 3 and 5. That's my reference. And then going this way, we really only need them in probably in the centers. Or maybe not, maybe we need to do 3 then across that way as well. I don't know whether we can fit them in. Is the blueprint going to let us? That's the question. Does there. Just have to do it and try it and see what happens. If we need to tweak it, we need to tweak it. Now, the one thing I would love in Satisfactory for them to do is the steelwork framework that comes under the architectural section, this section here, frames. I would love these to be paintable. I really would. This frame floor is awesome to use a lot, and this one, the frame wall. And to be able to paint these white, you know, and do the thing, oh, just be glorious. But we can't. It's the simple answer. But we can't. So we have to make do. 1, 2, I think it's going to be the same, isn't it? 2, 2, 2. Let's just pop this up. Go and have a quick look. See if it's working. See if the batteries haven't run out. I honestly hate to think what my frame rate's going to be once I start doing this. It might even not even work. It might just crash the whole thing. This building is just going to be so dense. That's just ridiculous. Oh well. We can only try. We can only try. If all else fails, I'll have to scale it back. Roof test, save blueprint, confirm. Let's go and give it a little test run up here again. Yeah, I think these tarmac patches and that are going to actually look quite cool eventually down the line. I think it's going to be super, super fun. Just to add that whole element of realism to it. Roof test. Here we go. One, 2, and 1. That looks like it's aligned with those pillars anyway properly. The blueprint seems to be aligned okay. We probably need the supports actually in the centers, or at least one. I mean, realistically, they probably have them on all of them. But that's, so we may need to stick in some more there. But I think it's working. Okay, back to the drawing board. And I can't get in there now, can I? I've done myself bad. Right, so we've got one here. One, two, and another one here. And then I don't. Yeah, we need another two over here, so we need one here, one here. There we go. That should do it. Roof test, save. Interesting. That's not aligned correctly. The height's off on that one. Wonder why. Looks alright elsewhere though. That'll be alright. She'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? There you go. We have a flat roof. Potential electrics inside for all the leaky roof syndrome to short everything out. And we have the potential for doing tar patches all over as we so desire. I think it is going to work. As you can see, the tiles here are facing the wrong way though. There's a few facing the wrong way. But maybe that's a good thing because of the patching, and maybe we can do the patching to sort of make that work, where we sort of it's probably not a bad idea. Normally I'd hate that, it'd drive me mad, but I think actually on the roof it actually looks more like patching, which isn't a bad thing for flat roofs. So we'll leave it. We will leave it. Okay. Well, what a crazy day it's been. So let me save this as roof edge, and it's got gully on it. Save. Then we want to do another one now, which is just roof edge. Save blueprint. And that one is going to have this bit taken out. And we'll just have that in. And that's going to be a standard edge without the gully. roof edge, save blueprint. And then we'll just, one thing we need to do. We don't want holes in it, and we don't need the metal lip either, so that can all come out. And then this can resave, save edge, save. Let's go and try it next door, make sure it fits and works, and then we'll do another one which will be a central piece which won't have any wall, parapet wall thing on it. Roof edge. And there it is. H. Kaboom. It meets, it fits, it works. Perfect. So let's go and do a middle bit now. So the way that's going to work is we don't take out the blueprint designer, but we take out the parapet wall bit like that. Breathe. We take out the overlap pieces. Not. Oh, what's gone on there? Thank you. And then we add these back in. Sweet. We add these back in. And this is now just the roof. I should have really called these flat, but it's okay. And I should have named them factory in front of them as well. But I will do that later when I sort all the blueprints out, because I really do need to start categorizing them properly. Okay, so roofus. Now, have we got this around the right way? This is where we're going to need to. No, we have not. That way is the correct way. There we go. There you have it. We have a flat roof with everything we need. Standing on the floor, that's what it looks like. Once that immense expanse gets filled in with it, it's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be very, very cool to watch and see it all come together. In basic terms, I think that's okay. We've done all right today. We've done a fair amount of blueprints and ironed out all the little niggles that we've had with them. The other thing we've got to sort out is lighting. One of my big issues with this game is not enough variation of lighting and sizes, because they're all big, huge things, and most lights in factories are never this size. They're like about a quarter to an eighth of that size and just powerful. So I really wish they'd have more of that stuff in game. But anyway, I'm sure we can eventually put some in here and get a light control panel and stuff and get it all properly set up. That's one thing at a time. The next thing I've got to do is do the other roof section left to do is a corner piece roof section, because obviously the parapet will come around. It won't have a gully on it. I'm going to leave it blank, and that will be the other thing to do. But I'm actually really knackered. I've been streaming all day today. First stream was a disaster though, because I had it all set up wrong. So I deleted it and started again this afternoon. Such is life, eh? Oh dear, such a noob. Well, thank you very much for hanging in there and watching. And for you that's been hanging around for a while, I see you lurking. But thank you, do appreciate it. And I hope you've enjoyed watching what you've seen, and don't forget to do the usual like and subscribe rubbish if you want to carry on seeing how this develops, and not just this factory but the others as well. We've got lots to do yet. This is just the mega factory side. We've got, as I say, over here in the Rocky Desert, we've got the mini factories to set up, which will be probably fairly normal size factories, which will be for screws and whatnot and stuff. We've got the rocket fuel to finish off, and then we've got to go back over to the foundry area and do all the other foundries over there. So there's tons and tons of stuff to do yet. So we're just working around. I've got to finish off the railway. I'll try and get the railway done as well off stream, because that's a really boring, monotonous, continuous thing. At least this is a bit more interesting. It's got a little bit more fiddling and design and stuff to work out, problem solving, which is a bit more interesting. But yeah, thank you for watching. Everybody take care. And what's today? Today is Friday, isn't it? So I'm not around this weekend. I should be back, all being well, on Monday, and because I'm back at the studio possibly Tuesday and Thursday next week, so I'll be streaming Monday, I believe, for probably most of the day again. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks. Take care. See you again.